hobby people. Welcome to the Hobby Dad channel. Today we're taking a look at a couple oldies but goodies. These are Traxxas Villain 4s. They did make later on a Villain EX, I think, which is fairly similar but updated version of this. These are the original Villain 4s. These have been modified in different ways over the years. I mean, these things are pretty old as it goes. But I was lucky enough to get them and came by them from an uncle. So thanks, Uncle Larry. I am slowly kind of piecing them back together with newer updated components or just some components to get them to run. But today I just wanted to take a quick look at what they are and what I'm looking forward to. So this one obviously has a cracked windscreen, and the reality is actually this top goes on that boat, but this is the hopped up boat. So we've got some hopped up motors in this boat, some stock motors in here, although I did put in a used Traxxas XL5 speed controller. This one was already modified long time ago by a previous owner, but we'll take a look at it. And actually, maybe you can help me solve a mystery for the motors in here. So let's get started. Okay, let's take a look. So here we have the upgraded boat. Here we have the older one that I did change the speed controller out in. And as you can see, the old original motors. Not sure what turn they came with, but I'm sure they're pretty mild. This boat, I have had both of these out before. This one screams. This one's pretty slow, great beginner speed. But it has the original motors, and I do have the original speed controller. And so it has this as the original speed controller, and it sits in here like this and basically powers the two motors. However, I kind of want to save this, and I'm afraid running it might burn it up, especially using some of these higher flow, better LiPo batteries, and I didn't want to do that. So I pulled this out, put in a semi-broken XL5. The reverse is not working, but forward is working great, and then I wired it up. I also, since I'm running, this is a really old XL5, it does not have the LiPo cutoff, so I've got an alarm in here for that. And then the original receiver and the old boats. This one, between the two of them, I only had one, but it had this lubrication system. So you would put some oil down there, and these bushings, I'm assuming, down below in the transom, not transom, but like the drive shaft area. And that's how it maintained lubrication. I don't like these at all. I'm pretty sure there is an updated bearing system you can exchange in these. I will have to track down the info and get that done. But that's the plan. Both of these boats will get updated because this one still has the little ports for lubing those bushings and stuff in there too. I don't want to have to do that all the time. I want just some friction, less friction, nice ball bearings in there for both of these. So that's an upgrade they'll both be getting. These both have, and you can see there's a difference here. This one doesn't have a connecting plate. They're black. Let me pop off the gear covers here. And so these are all that holds this in. I have a feeling if you put some really, low turn motors, some really hopped up motors in here, it could probably torque these or break things. This one updated with this plate. I don't know if this was stock, but the plate in there, and then these are kind of the same. They're just designed to have that plate on there. And then you've got your spur gear and your pinion gear here. Brass on both of these. I don't know what turn they are. And then these lower plastic ones the spur gears are plastic. So as you can see, some other differences. Obviously the receiver here is original. This one I updated with a Dumbo RC, which I'm planning on doing another video on to show that new receiver I got, fairly inexpensive, hoping it works out well. But also, so I added that in. Going from here to here, looking at this old speed controller, this one, whoever upgraded it at the time, put this Super Rooster reversible in here and to run these motors. Now these motors, I cannot figure out what they are. It says Stratos on them, and it says Stratos Racing Team. I don't know what turn they are. I found some info. I could find a picture occasionally on the internet, even though that was even hard to do. I have no idea what turn these motors. They've got this kind of purple end bell housing, and I just wasn't sure. Closest I got to what I think they are is I think they are 10 turn. I was able to find some info, like I could almost purchase one, but the way they listed it didn't make it super clear as to whether or not these are 10 turn. But we got the dual motor setup. These are wired in parallel. Since I was running this thing, I didn't really care about burning it up, but I do have a new speed controller coming for it, waterproof one. That's my concern about this rooster, is it's not waterproof. Love this thing. These things were awesome way back in the day, but again, not waterproof, so I think I'm going to swap it out with a waterproof one. I'm running this one in series, and yes, you get all the problems. So if you're ever curious about that, look up wiring motors in series versus wiring motors in parallel. Basically, in parallel, this thing's pumping out the same amount to two of these. In series, it's just kind of like it sounds. They go in a series. It's pumping out the power to one, which then goes to the other, and so when one of them gets caught up a little, it just makes the other one spin, a little faster. Not an ideal way to wire them. But I'm going to take this out and mostly let the kids play around with it. And I'm curious to see how it does. I don't want it going too crazy because, again, these are old parts. Nothing is going to be able to take a ton of wear and tear. This thing, however, like I said, I have had both of these out. This thing's super slow. This thing is pretty darn fast. And I have got everything mounted up and kind of cleaned up, organized here. This also, if you notice the tubing here, it is water cooled in the back of the transmitter here. This has a water pickup tube, runs through this tube here. You can also see the updated to a brass propeller. And let's see, a prop. So, and then I don't know if they've updated anything else. Doesn't look like it. It looks pretty standard fare from that point. But these, much more aggressive than the ones here. The ones on the old, mostly original unit, plastic, and other than that, though, really, I think they're probably pretty close to the same. I think the drive shaft might be a little different on the brass one just to mount those up, but other than that, pretty much the same. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give people a quick look here at these so you can see kind of the differences. I do have even the original radio. Man, I don't want to run these old radios. That's why I upgraded the nice one here to the 2.4 gigahertz right away. These ones, I'll run it for now. It's kind of my secondary boat for the kids to maybe bash around on a little bit. I eventually will probably ditch this though, since some of these new receivers and transmitters are so inexpensive. Like I said, stay tuned at some point or look in my library if it might already be there for a Dumbo RC. Did get one of these. We'll go over it a little more. It is, I don't know what it is. We're going to give it a test and then I'll create a video. All right. Well, I hope you find this interesting. Oh, I didn't mention, yes, this too has the cutoff warning because this old thing, there was no such thing as LiPo batteries back in its day. But I do have the little warning alarms in there for both of them. That way I can hopefully hear it and not melt these down to the water line. So, all right, that's it, hobby people. Hope you're having a great hobby day, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.